Hello game fans, and as always, welcome to the Steam Chamber. I'm Lord Elemental, and today we're taking a look at Take on Mars, which is a new Mars rover simulator from Bohemia Interactive, the guys behind Arma and Arma 3. Now this is a sort of follow-on to their successful helicopter sim series, Take on Helicopters. Only in this you will be building and sending probes to the Red Planet. Now this has just come out on Steam and it's an early access game, so it is still in alpha. It's not a finished game. However, you can buy it now for around £10, and I'm going to go through some of the features that are available as of now. Firstly, we're going to take a look at scenarios. Now scenarios are sort of set missions where the game will provide you with a specific rover of varying different tech levels in a specific part on a specific part of Mars, and it will give you a set of goals in order to complete that. You can explore as well, but essentially you're there to complete certain goals. Now, as far as I'm aware, they're adding in a scenario editor. I don't think that's there as of yet. However, at the minute there's only about 2 scenarios available, but of course they will be adding a lot more in the future. At the minute it's pretty much you are the Opportunity rover and you have to check out a crater or a couple of different craters. The other part of the game, which is the bulk of the game, is the career mode. Now in the career mode you have a set budget and you can develop your own basic rovers and then send them to various different missions on Mars in order to unlock new levels. So essentially you start off with tier 1 tech, and there's access to 3 missions, but you can only, with your current budget, you can only afford one of the 3 missions. It's because the other 2 are fairly expensive. And the idea is that you have to build your rover, your basic rover, send it on the first mission in a particular area. If that mission is successful, then you're able to then send another rover to complete a different mission in the same area, and so on and so forth. And as you do it, each time you complete your major and your minor goals, you will unlock not only more funding, but you will also unlock new technologies, so tier 2, tier 3 and beyond. Once you've completed enough missions in an area and earned enough money, you can then move on to another area and use even more advanced technology. Now, at the minute, there are still some things that aren't finished. As I say, it's an alpha, so when it comes to building your equipment, there's not a whole lot to choose from at first. And also, when you do send your things to Mars, there are certain things you'll notice that won't always go right. Sometimes your lander will crash. However, sometimes that is part of the game. You know, there is an element of risk. There are different quality levels when it comes to your equipment, so that can be a factor. However, there are also some bugs that are causing some issues as well. One of the things you might notice straight away is you can press C to change your view when you're landing, which you have no control over the landing, by the way. That's completely automated, but you can change your view, so you can, rather than watching through one of the cameras, you can look at, you can have a third person view of the rover. And what you'll notice on this video is a lot of the time when you do that, the effects for the engines are quite off at the minute. The flare is, quite often above the engines. However, like I say, alpha is alpha, and this is something they'll sort out at a later date when it's absolutely necessary. At the minute they're focusing on adding content to the game and working out really bad bugs. Now, as far as I'm aware, I didn't really encounter any bugs when I was playing through. I played the game through for a few hours now, and as far as I'm aware, I didn't really hit any bugs. The game's quite interesting. It controls quite well. You can control 2 systems at once. One on the left of the screen, which is controlled by your WASD keys, and one on the right of the screen, which is controlled by your arrow keys. Now you can choose what pieces of equipment you're controlling at the time, so one could be set to your wheels, another could be set to your control arm, or one could be set to your camera, another one could be set to a probe, or one might be set to one part of your control arm and the other might be set to the head of your control arm. So you can change it on the fly, it works really well. You can use your mouse to control your camera by right clicking on the screen. It then locks your mouse to the camera and you're able to move your probe around, which is really handy. And once you right click again, you then get your cursor back and you can switch between different modes, such as your instrument mode or your camera mode or your movement mode, and so on and so forth. Now, as a game, I've had quite a lot of fun with it so far. It is early access, so it's not a finished game. There are still some things like your pop-ups don't give you a hell of a lot of information, and it does warn you that, you know, this is incoming and it will happen at some point, but it's early access. And there are a few more features that are disabled that tell you because of early access. However, what is there is great. I think it's definitely worth the money so far. There's a lot of content there for them, and you do get your money's worth. Graphically speaking, it's lovely. It's really nice. It's like, as you can see through on the video, the earlier scenes were during one of the scenarios. So I was using the best equipment. I was using basically the Opportunity rover. However, this second half of the video, I'm using my own equipment, which is therefore really low quality, low gain antennas with low quality cameras, so I'm getting very fuzzy images. But that's nice because it really does add a bit of realism to the game, because a lot of the images you get back from these rovers are really very low quality or are in certain spectrums, so they don't look like HD quality pictures. So it's a really nice touch, and graphically the game, I can't fault. It looks beautiful. Even when you go out into the third person view, things look absolutely great. And the design of the rovers is quite nice as well. It's got quite a nice aesthetic. It doesn't look very much like NASA equipment, but has much more of a sleeker sort of titanium look to everything, which is really nice. I normally wouldn't recommend or review an early access game so early on, as so many things are going to get added. If you look at things like Kerbal and when it was first added and where it is now, and you look at things like Minecraft when it first came out and where it is now, there can be a lot of changes. However, unlike some of the early access games, there's already a lot here to keep you occupied, and also it's also does a really good job of proof of concept as well, and it really does a good job of showing you what is going to be there in the future as well. So I feel quite confident in recommending you buy it now. It's a really good game. If you're into that sort of simulator side of things, then you're going to have fun, and also if you're into the more spacey sci-fi stuff, you're going to have fun, and if you've played Kerbal, you're going to have fun as well, and I've certainly put enough hours into that so far. So I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you enjoy the game, and if you did enjoy the video, then please do like, comment and subscribe. Thank you.